What a glorious day. Today we're fishing down at Eastbourne. It is absolutely stunning. It really feels like spring has arrived. I'm feeling overdressed with these on. I'm going to take them off in a minute, but it's time to get set up. God, I can't get my words out. I haven't had a coffee today. Yeah, so we got a couple of rods on the go. The plan for the session is hopefully picking up a Plaice. I went in the local tackle shop on the way down, Tony's Tackle, who sold me some beautiful lug, which we'll take a look at in a bit. And I've also brought some frozen lug with me, and I'll go through the bait a little bit more later on. But one of my goals today is, if you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll see that I use about 2.5–3 inch bit of tube at the top of my bottom snood on like a loop rig, or the clip down earth rigs that I've been making. Today I'm going to do a comparison. I've made one clip down 2-hook loop rig with tube, one without, one clip down earth rig with the tube and one without. And we're going to see how they compare with each other in terms of getting tangled on my leads. Now, just to mix it up a little bit, I'm only going to use 2 grip leads and 2 plain leads to start with. Now, the tubing particularly helps with the grip leads. So later on, when the tide starts to run, I'll switch out those plain leads for grips and we can see whether I get any tangling. So that's the plan. Fishing for Plaice, comparing rigs with and without tube to see if they get tangled. So wish me luck, in the words of Wayne, and we'll see how we get on. There was some Plaice caught down here yesterday, so we got a chance. We definitely got a chance. See you shortly. Well, rods for the day, I have brought my Century Graphic Super Matches, because I can get just a little bit further distance with these rods, and distance can matter when you're out for these early Plaice, based on my experience. So we get these set up, get my reels put on, and then we'll take a look at the rigs and the bait. So that's the rods and reels set up. Let's take a look at these rigs. So 2 of my rigs today, as I mentioned, we're going to be clip down earth rigs. I've made these today with shorter snoods, 18-inch snoods, and this one has my bit of rubber tube there at the top. And both of them have a size 2 Varivas Aberdeen, accompanied with a green pop-up, oops, it's swinging about a bit, with a little sequin and a rubber stop to act as a bait stop. And the other rig, the other clip down earth rig, is identical, except look, no tube there at the top. That's what we're going to compare. But 18-inch snood, exactly the same at the business end, to give as fair a comparison as possible. These 2 rigs, I'm starting off on the plain lead, where I'm not expecting any tangles either way, and then later on we'll switch those out for grips. So the plain leads I've got, I'm using these Aero Bombs from Shorecast. They're both 5-ounce lead, different colours. We're not comparing catch rates on these rigs, we're just looking for tangles. So the fact that I'm changing the colour of the lead on the 2 rigs doesn't really matter for the purposes of our little experiment. So we'll get these on. It's always a little bit fiddly getting the swivels onto the splashdowns. There we are, that one's on. So that's the white lead without the rubber, and the green lead's got the rubber. So these splashdowns I've used before, sometimes you find they bend a little bit and the leads can pop off if you don't bend them back out. So I just get my forceps to bend the bit of wire that's just there out a little bit so that that lead is held firmly in place. Just got to calm a little bit more. There we are. Perfect. Right, yeah, that's not just going to pop off. I'll just check the other one. Yeah, that one's fine. So those two rigs, we're going to get those out. We'll get these baited up, and then a bit later on we'll take a look at the loop rigs. So the bait is in here. I've got two kinds of bait today for another little bit of an experiment. All in my small bait pack from Tronix Pro here. That's the fresh I've just picked up. I'm not going to use all that today. I'm saving some for my next session. But here, frozen, one of my mates said some people he knows who are really good match anglers swear by this. These are frozen yellowtails. So they've still got their guts in. I laid them on newspaper for a couple of hours just to dry them out a little bit before I froze them down and vac packed them. I'm expecting them to be squidgy, but they still got all the guts in, and they're basically as they were when they were pumped. So yeah, we're going to see how these compare to the fresh worms. So we get a pack of these out and a pack of the fresh out. Just undo the vac pack there. So I'll get one packet out. The other ones can stay in the cool bag here to keep them nice and chilled. And the fresh bait, I've got 2 wraps today, and I'm going to save 4 for my next session out. So we'll get one of these out. Make sure these stay nice and cold. I'm going to keep them in my tackle box, wrapped up in my coat, to make sure they stay as cool as possible while I'm out fishing. So they're in as good as possible state as when I'm going to use them again in about, well, sometime next week. So we get these wrapped up. Try and keep their temperature stable. And there we are. So let's take a look at these worms. Fresh ones. Beautiful, look at that. Absolutely stunning bait. They were pumped yesterday, so they're about as fresh as you can get. All these worms look absolutely top notch. So thank you, Tony, for the worms. And then these are the yellowtails that are frozen down. Probably still a bit frozen because they only came out of my freezer an hour and a half ago. Well, they look better than I thought they would. I thought I was going to be met with something a bit globbier than this. Let's just get that off the paper. So I'm definitely going to be using elastic with these worms. They need to defrost a bit more so all the newspaper comes off. Try and pick that off. Because they're quite wet, the paper's going to be much more liable to stick to these. But that is one of the frozen yellowtails, and that looks mint. They went in, I got them delivered, they went in the freezer a couple of hours after I got them delivered, maybe even less than that. So about as fresh as they could be when they went in the freezer. So that's the bait comparison. Frozen yellows versus beautiful fresh pump lug. So I'll keep these out the sun, pop them down there. I'll get a little, I've got my Tronix Pro bait tray somewhere in my box. I'll get that out in a bit. But that's the plan for the day. So I'll get baited up, get cast out. So here we got our 2 worms, one frozen, ungutted, sorry. One frozen, ungutted yellowtail and one fresh lug. I'm just going to trim the ends of both, get rid of the sandy tails. It's got a bit gloopy. We'll get these on a bait needle. Look at that, gloopy frozen one. Much less gloopy than I thought it would be. Right, that's the frozen one on. Bit of its guts there, I'll just stick that on there. I'll bind that on with the elastic in a minute and get the fresh one on. That is so fresh it doesn't even need a slap. That's perfect. We'll get our bait elastic. And we'll give the frozen one quite a decent bind. I've got a bit of elastic end dangling there, I'll trim that in a minute. There we go, get that end off. And the fresh one, I'm just going to put a little bit in midsection of the worm. and that'll be roughly where the eye of the hook is, and that'll just help hold it in place. It's so fresh. I'm not going to do that very tight at all, because when they're that fresh the elastic can cut into the worm, and I don't want that. There we are, a little tiny bit there, a bit of extra security. So we're going to get these on the clip down earth rigs, just as usual. Get that on, make sure the bait stops in the right place, slide that down a bit. And there we have our ungutted frozen yellowtail. And the other rig, the white lead, is getting the fresh worm. So the fresh gutted lug that I just picked up, that were pumped 24 hours ago. So slide that on, hold that line a bit tighter. Beautiful. Bait stop needs to go up a bit on that. And there we have that one, good to go out. So I'll get these clipped down. I'm going to move my tripod down the beach a bit. And then we're good to go. Tide's fairly low. It's about, I think, four hours till high. So it's going to come up a fair bit yet. But we're going to shift halfway down the shingle so I don't have to keep walking up and down so much. See you in a bit. So we've got some baits in the water on those clip down earth rigs. Time to get my loop rigs set up. So I'll get those out. I like storing my rigs in this little thing, in plastic bags. I moved away from rig winders. I thought they took up too much space. Although they are easy to get the rigs off, of course. But we all have our own preferences. So in here I've got two hook loop rigs, 18-inch snoods. There's a 25-pound 0.45 fluorocarbon snood and size 2 saltwater champion hooks on these. Just tuck that bag there so it doesn't blow away. So these rigs are identical, except for one's got the tube on the bottom snood and the other one doesn't, just like we saw earlier with the clip down earths. I've got a few pop-ups on these. So we'll take a look at this one. I've got it untangled. Right, so it's untangled. We're going to stick a 5-ounce grip, 5-ounce SKM grip. God, that one's seen better days. The wire's well bent. Oh well, that's what it is. Put that on the splashdown at the bottom. Go on you go. That's it. And then just bend that wire back. You can see, I'll come closer to the camera with this. You can see there's a little gap there where I've forced the lead on. It's unlikely the lead's going to pop back off that, but I just like to get my forceps and bend that wire back out a bit. There we are. Oops, done that a bit too much. It's better. And this rig with bottom snood, no tube. So there we have the bottom snood, 18 inches long, and about 12 inches down the snood we've got our cascade swivel, a mini snood clip there, and at the business end there's that size 2 saltwater champion, a sequin, a lime green pop-up from Tronics Pro, and a little rubber stop. And for the top snood, that's also 18 inches long. We've got the SRT spring there, and on this one I've put 2 of those lime green pop-ups above the hook. And these pop-ups are really just to add a little bit of movement and attraction for the Plaice. The water's clear-ish today. It's not crystal clear, but it's looking pretty good. And I put 2 on the top just to move that one around a little bit, or maybe have a little bit of an effect of floating that up a bit, and 1 on the bottom to make sure those hooks stay far apart and don't float up and hit into each other. So I use 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, rather than 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. That's the logic. Whether it makes any difference, who knows. So I'm going to get these 2 loop rigs ready. Like I say, the other one's identical, except for it's got that tube at the top of the bottom snood. So we get these baited up, ready to go out on the next chucks. Well guys, I was just reeling in the first rod I chucked out. We have a fish. I'm just going to walk down to get it, rather than drag it up the beach. It's not the target species, but it is a fish. Well guys, the plague I had down at Seaford the other day is obviously in Eastbourne as well, because we got a doggy. Here we are, look. Not the biggest, but there we go. What a little cutie. I'll get this guy in a bucket and get him chucked back. Come on, don't wind yourself up, mate. Right, he's tucked in the bucket. I'm going to get some more baits out. There's definitely some tide rips. I'm going to get rid of these plain leads already. And yeah, stick some grips on everything. But look at these lovely baits. This is the Tissot loop rig. This one's got tube on it. And I've stuck fresh lug on both those hooks. Ready to launch out. That is beautiful. We want a Plaice, not a doggy. Anyway, I'll get these out. So that dogfish is sitting happily in a bucket. There's definite massive tide rip out there, so I'm just going to lower the back of my tripod and raise the front a bit. That gives it a bit more security against the tide. Now I've stuck a grip lead on. Well, that is ripping, ripping, ripping. Hopefully that'll stay there and I don't have to put any shingle on it. So let's get this other one reeled in before it takes me around the groin. See if we've got another doggy. Might have to go up to 6-ounce leads, which will surprise me because it's not the big tide today. No, nothing on this one. Dogfish still in the bucket there. I'll put him back in a minute. Because the tide was ripping, I thought I'd better get this one reeled in first before I do get taken around that groin. I might try plopping this one in just a bit closer while that is absolutely heaving it through. So I just cast out the Tissot loop rig loaded with fresh lug. The Tissot loop rig, other one I've got baited up ready to go, has got the frozen yellows on it. Mixing it up. Question is, what was the dogfish caught on? I'll get to the bottom of that in a minute. Alright, here we go. Let's see if anything's snaffled the bait off this. Right, that bait's intact. Let's take a look. That is the frozen one. So the dogfish had the fresh. But there we go. Frozen one's come back. Come off the hook a little bit, but I don't think anything's had a play with that. Right, I'll get my rig changed over. Chuck out the other one I got baited up ready. Like I say, I'm just going to try plopping it because that tide is bending. Look at the bend in that tip from the tide pull. That is quite immense, really. So because it's pulling from right to left that way, I'm going to walk down the beach over there and get these out there. These are the frozen yellows. A little bit of twisting around the top, all right. That's better. There we go, look. Ooh, let's see if something munches it. Let's get them out. A little bit further than I wanted. So I'm going to swap my rods around because this one is definitely behind me and the other one is in front of me. So keep my lines from being crossed over. I'll stick that one on the front collar. There really is some tension on that from the tide pull. Get that one set down as well. There we are. Right, let's get this doggy put back. Let's set him free, Mr. Dog. Woohoo, off he goes. Got a bite on the left-hand rod here. Dogfish bite. Classic dog bite, that. I'm calling it. Let's get it in. Tighten up my coasters a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's on there. Oh yeah, we've got weight. Hopefully there'll be some spotties in amongst the doggies. I'll just pop them in the bucket. Right guys, I popped them in the bucket. Unclip the rig. Pop that back down. Let's take a look at the dog. Dirty dog. Come on mate, he's gone into a little ball. Let's unhook him, then we can take a better look. I'll come round here, maybe you can see a bit better. I've got my bucket here. Oh. Get that hook out of the way. It's taking the bottom hook. And he's gone into a very tight little ball. Come on, let me get my T-bar in, mate. There we are, off. T-bars are great. So fresh lug, bottom hook. And there we have our prize for coming out on a gorgeous day. Little doggy. Let's get this guy chucked back. Right, pop the bucket back around the side of my box. Get him away. Woohoo! We're on the fish. So I chuck the doggy back, and I've got here my earth rig ready to go. Look at that beautiful lugworm bait. Hopefully you can see that. Stunning worm. We'll get this clipped up and then I'll get it chucked out. So I've put a 6-ounce grip now on this rig. So there we go, all clipped up, ready to go. Just because that tide rip is so fierce. And we're going to get this one out there. Right. Check the drop length. Bit short, there we go. So just look where my other line's going. It's drifted around a little bit. It's still going slightly to my right, that's good. So I'll cast this one more to towards the middle of the beach, over the other line, and then hopefully they won't interfere with each other. Right, we're good to go. Perfect. That went out pretty straight, so I've every confidence. I've cast it over the other line and we can pop this back down on the seaward side of the tripod. There we are. The baits are back out. Now I've just got to rebait to a loop rig. Lovely stuff. Well, that's 3 casts, 2 dogs. Well, it's time to reel in the one I just plopped out. See if anything's had a go at the bait. It's been sitting there pretty still, so I'm going to guess not. Cool, it's well gripped in. Cool. Could have hit a snag there. Let's see if I can get it moving. That's it, it's coming. I think it's coming. Oh, are we going to lose a rig? Oh, right. Only one thing for it. That'll be why this one hadn't drifted around at all. I think this is going to go ping. Christ almighty. Snapped. Darn it. That was one of my 2 loop rigs. Next set of big tides, maybe that'll still be visible. Maybe someone will get it. I doubt it though. Big tides are still a way away. Hopefully that went to the leader knot. Well, probably the leader knot, hard to tell. So we need to get another leader stuck on here. Get it sent back out. Right, so let's get some more leader out. Got my little box of bits here. Should have some more tapered leaders in here. What's that one? 15 to 60, that's what I want. The other one was 18 to 70. So, Zen and tapered leader. Looks like there's one left on here, so that's good. Now we get this tied on. Oh, there might actually be 2 on there. Just right for another snag. So I tie my leaders on using 2, basically 3 or 4 turn uni knots. 1, 2. I'll do 4 turns there. Gently tease that. I'm not going to pull it tight yet. I'm going to wet the line before I pull it tight. And then I do the same with the tapered leader end. So I'm going to do 4 turns because this is £15 line. If it's thicker line, I'd do 3 turns. That's number 4. Wet that. Gently pull it down. And there we go. Trim those ends with my nail clippers. We get this wound on, then I've just got to find another clip to put on the end. Right, this leader attached. Yep, one more. And somewhere in here, I've got some clips. There we go, I'll keep a little pot of bits in there. So it's a casting snap that I'm going to tie on the end. I use a 3 turn uni knot for this. One, 3. So important to get it wet so we don't cause friction burn pulling that tight. So just so I can get a better purchase on that, I've got a little T-bar here. I'm just going to hold the clip. If it was at home, I'd use a knot puller. There we go. Give that a nice pull. Snip the end. And we're good to get back fishing. So I've got that one with the new leader on cast out. Let's take a look at the other one. This has definitely pulled round in the tide, even though I've put a 6 ounce lead on. Right, we're moving. Have we got a fish is the question. It does feel heavier, but obviously I've got a 6 ounce lead on this time, not a 5. Still feels like it's got a bit of weight here. We're near the edge now. Got the leader coming down the eyes. Is there a fish? Is there a fish? Oh yes, I think we got our target. Let's take a look. It's definitely flat. And there we have it. A beautiful place. That is on the clip down earth. And when I unhook it, we'll take a look at what bait's on there. But there we go. Small, but it's what we came for. And let's face it, it's always nice to catch the target fish. So here we go, clip down earth, loaded with a frozen yellow. Let's get it out there. Just have to watch my other line here because it's just there. Don't think I'm too close though. That place was at about probably 80 yards. So we're going to go for that sort of distance again. Let's get these baits out. And there we have it. The baits are in the water. Let's take a look at this place. There we go. That is 27 centimetres. Like I say, not the biggest, but it is absolutely what we came for. So we're going to unhook this guy using the through the gills method. First thing I'm going to do is pull that bait stop up the snood so it's well out the way. So we're going to unhook this guy using the through the gills method. And we very gently start off by sliding the forceps above the gills and then pull the line back through. And then we work out which end has got the hook. And we're just going to gently pull that to turn it around there. Pop it, push it back up so it frees the hook and then it slides out. Hopefully my arm wasn't in the way for too much of that. But there we go. Easy to get the hook out, back in the bucket of water. Now I need to clean my box and my hands. That guy, fresh lug. So there we have that. I'll get that one rebaited, ready to go back out. Time to set this little guy free. There we are. Goodbye, Mr. Plaice. Off he swims. I've possibly got a little tap on the earth rig I just chucked out, but it's time to reel the other one in with the Tissot loop rig on. I'm going to have to move up the beach soonish because the tide is definitely coming in. Let's see if we've got anything on here. Cool. Hopefully not another snag. Crikey. There's definitely something snarly out there. Right, I've got that one free. I think I'm going to have to cast a little bit closer in to avoid that snag. Whatever it is that's out there. Yeah, it was the top hook that was snagged in something. So look at that. You can see that top hook, I use those rig gum stops, it slid all the way down to the bottom. But nothing's touched those baits on this chuck. So I'll slide that back up. And make sure that's in the right position before I cast it out again next time. But we'll switch over the rigs and get out the clip down earth. So far no tangling, whether I've had tube or not. But the tide is absolutely ripping. Tangling is much more likely when there's no tide pull. Right, there we are. Clip down earth, fresh lug on this one. Still mixing up the baits. And there we have that, look at that. Beautiful. So like I say, I'm going to not chuck this one as far. Because there's obviously some sort of snag in front of me. I'll have to remember that for this beach if I come down here again soon. Right, let's get it out. A little gentle flick. No, 40, 50 yards. But it's back out. We didn't lose the rig. That's the main thing there. Well, I've had a few little taps on the right hand rod, so we're going to get this in, see if there's anything on it. Nice to have another place, wouldn't it? Let's see. No, I think it's a little bit light. I reeled in just now, well, I say just now, just as I was moving up the beach, probably about 15 minutes ago. And my clip down earth rig that had one of them frozen yellowtails on it had been snaffled. There was a tiny bit of the bait left on there. So they are taking that as well as the fresh. But obviously I didn't get a hook up on that. I've got my clip down earth with another frozen lug ready to go back out. So far no tangling, tubing or otherwise. With or without the tubing hasn't made any difference. The tide is absolutely ripping though. What's going on here? Earth rig, fresh lug, looks pretty much untouched. So get these swapped over. Bring that one on there. Get this one out, ready to go. There we are, look. That is one juicy frozen yellowtail. That is absolutely full of juices. So we get this one sent out. Oh, I've got a bit of tangle in there, top eye again. Right, drop length looks all right. I'm not going to cast it too far, just see where my other line's going. It's going slightly that way. I'm going to cast it from up here because I'm trying to avoid that snag that's in front of me. Bit of a shame really. Right, go for about 70 yards. Well, it's probably more like 50. That fluffed up a little bit. I had to put my thumb on it. Oops. I think I'm just a little bit cautious with my casting because I know that snag's out there. Anyway, baits are back out. I'll get that one rebaited and yeah, where is it? Over here. Ready for the next chuck. Yeah, nothing's had a go at that worm. We'll take it off and get a fresh one put on there. Well, let's get these baits checked and then I think it must be time to make a cup of tea. It's lunchtime and I definitely need a top up of my caffeine. I've only had one cup today. It's not like me at all. This one's in really close. Let's see if we've got anything on it. With that snag in front of me, I'm definitely not making the most of my clip down earth rigs, which are designed for distance. But we are testing out this tubing theory. This one's got the Tissot loop rig on it. See if we have anything. I feel the grip lead bouncing over the shingle. Oops, leader knot. Always make sure it's at the right hand side of my spool. No fish. Has anything attacked these baits? Yeah, something's had a go at the bottom bait. Let's take a look at that. Top one's untouched. Bottom one's definitely been well munched. Look at that. Looks like I might have been crabbed. Can you see that? That? Maybe I'm too close, I don't know. There's a bit of a crab's leg on my hook. Maybe if I hold that bit of leg up there, look. I think I know what the perpetrator was of the crime of stealing my bait. Ah, nobody wants a crab. Anyway, switch the rigs. Clip down earth ready to go with fresh lug on this one. Right, nice gentle flick. I'm going to go really close this time. Pesky crabs. That is really close. That is about 25 yards out. That's quite possibly the first time ever that I've caught just a crab's leg. Well, certainly a little one like that. Maybe I've had a spider leg before. Right, rebait, and then I'm going to refuel my caffeine. Well guys, what can I say? It's been over an hour since I last had the camera on, easily, and it's gone very, very quiet. We're not far off high tide now. The rod furthest from the sea, so that's my right, has had a couple of very gentle little pull downs, but given I caught a crab leg earlier, I'm a bit suspicious and think that's probably another crab. The tide is now pulling slightly that way, so I've been casting from down behind me there and just seeing how it's going really. I'm still mixing up the baits. The 3 fish we had so far were all on the fresh lug. I think that's true. I'll have to look back over the footage. I'm sure you remember because you'll have just watched it. And yeah, it's a bit hard going really, but look at the weather. It is absolutely glorious down here. I've had a cup of tea now. I've had a bit of food, not quite enough for lunch really, but I'm trying to lose a little, eat a few pounds. You know, banana, orange, and a little grey snack. That's what I had today. I'm sure you care, you know, deeply about what I've had for my lunch. But yeah, so we're going to keep fishing. I'm going to keep fishing for probably another hour or so, just to see if we can pick up another fish. And yeah, just keep cracking. The sun's out, the sky's blue. Nothing to complain about today. Well, we're going to reel one in together. This is the one I had a few little gentle pull downs on, which I suspect might be a crab, giving us a bit of crab action. Let's get this one in. I've got my clip down earth rig baited up with the frozen yellowtail, ready to go back out. Might have to put my jumper back on in a minute. It's lovely and warm, but the easterly wind has just got a bit of a nip to it. Well, it's picked up a little bit in the last quarter of an hour. I'm hoping now the tide's running the other way I can get a bit more distance on my chucks, because I'm casting from that end of the beach rather than that end of the beach where I was getting snagged up. And hopefully the tide won't take me round into the snag. That's the hope. Right, no fish on here. Anything happened to the bait? Untouched. Fresh on the top, frozen on the bottom hook. Both look pristine. We've lost a lot of the tide pull, even though it is now pulling left to right. It's not absolutely ripping like it was earlier when I was picking up those fish. And I think that's probably why we've seen the bites tail off. I've only had 3 fish, but it's better than no fish, eh? Right, let's get this out. I'm not going to put my thummy on because I'm not going for ultimate distance here. Let's get these baits out. All the guys on the beach next to me. There's a couple of guys fishing down there. What looks like one of them's got a snag. Yeah, it's not just me who's been afflicted. Right, put some fresh baits on that spare rig then. Still no tangling, either with or without the tube. Like the guy on the next beach got out the snag, that's good for him. No left gear out in the sea. Right. Time to get this bad boy rebaited, but look at that. Absolutely untouched. We've got a bite we got a bite on the left hand rod. It looked a bit like a dogfish. Let's just see, keep an eye on it. Just pulled round once, like, you know, like doggies do. I've had to put my jumper back on because the wind is a bit chilly. Come on, doggy. Give us another knock. Hopefully you can see the rod tips. It's a bit hard to know where to put the camera because it's so sunny today. If I have you behind me and you're looking straight at the sun, but behind me is where the best angle is for the rods. And I'm sitting facing this way because I don't want the wind in my face. So it's all a bit tricky getting everything arranged right. Come on, dogfish. I think it might have just had a taste and moved off. God, they've got me leaping off my butt though. It takes quite a lot to get me leaping up off my butt. I don't think it's hooked itself. Okay, let's reel it in. Check the bait. I've got the other rig baited up there, ready to go. The two clip down loop rig. Cool, this one really has gone right round to the right there. Right, how's it interacting with my other line? Not reeling the other one in. There's a little bit of weight on here. Could just be that grip lead dragging, because these grip leads do an half grip well. It's one reason I like using them, especially down places like this where it rips through. It's possible we might have a dog on. Pretty sure there's nothing on this. Right at the edge now. Nope. And that was the frozen lug, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that was a dog bite on the frozen lug, but it didn't take it down. Maybe it wasn't tasty enough. So it's obviously had a little taste, decided it didn't want it and moved on. Right, let's get these fresh ones out. 2 fresh lug on here. Beautiful baits. These ones look so good. I'm even going to bring them over to the camera, even though I'm casting down the other end of the beach. Let's get a look at these bad boys. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful bait they are. 2 gorgeous, fresh, lovely worms. Let's get them out. Right, we're good to go. I'm just going to try... No, I was going to loosen the mags. I loosened them the last cast, but I think that might have been the limit, really. See how we get on with this one. Hard to compare, because the last chuck I had a 6 ounce lead, this time I got 5. Right, let's get it out. Ooh, that was near that seagull. Ooh. Right, it didn't lift at all. Come on then, let's take a click off for next time. Ooh, living dangerously. Well guys, we've got another dogfish bite. Left hand rod. Same rod as last time. It's got a few pulls. Not ferocious, but you know, something to show me there's a dogfish there. There it goes, there it goes. I want it to pull down a bit more. There it's off, look. Let's see if we can lift into this. Did I get him? I think so. Let's pop it back down, see if he's still there. Let's keep a hold of this. Hopefully you can still see the rod tip. Not quite sure what backdrop you'll have for that. If you saw a previous video of mine, I was fishing at Seaford, getting loads of dog bites but not hooking many. And I mentioned there in that video about my snood length. If I was fishing for dogfish, I'd be using 2-foot snoods. But I'm not fishing for dogfish, I'm using 18-inch snoods. And I reckon I'd get more hookups on the dogs if I had a longer snood length. But I don't want to catch dogs. I'm here to catch plaice. I have to say, I am wondering when the plaice are going to really show in numbers. It's been a very slow start to the season for me. But then last year I had my best session mid-April, I think it was, early April, just about there. I'm filming this late March, so by the time you see it, I'll be about the time I had a really decent session on the Plaice last year. Nope, that dog's gone. Let's get it reeled in, check the baits. I've got my earth rig loaded up there on the tripod with fresh lug, ready to go back out. Oh, you know what? I think I have got the dog. There's definitely weight on this, unless I'm reeling the other one in. Hopefully I haven't picked up that snag again. Don't like the sound of that. Snag City here. Right, I'm going to have to walk this one back. That's a shame because that was actually coming in. I've obviously just hooked whatever it is on the way back. Just pull this nice and slow. I might go out of camera shot. Yeah, come out. We didn't lose it. Got it out the snag. Just applying steady pressure to get it out. I wonder what it is out there. Maybe one day I'll come down on a big low tide and have a look. Bottom hook's the one that's been attacked. It's had a really good go at that bait. Yeah, it almost pulled it off the hook. Right, let's get that unclipped. Chuck the lead down by the tripod. We'll get this one sent out. Fresh lug, clip down earth rig. It's better. Wasn't running smooth through the top eye. It's good now. Good to go. Right. Let's launch this out to sea. Come on, we want a Plaice. This is the Plaice's tea. Hopefully we'll get that not snagged up this time. Dog on, I think, guys. We've got a slack line. Let's see. Have we got him this time? Yes. I'll tell you what they're like in these fresh lug. Trying to get it in reasonably quick because of that snag out there. It's putting a nice bend in the rod, this one, blimey. Look at that. Tell you what, this has got to be bigger than the others. There's only one hook on it, there's only one fish. Maybe I'm reeling in the gear I lost earlier as well. Feels a bit like hauling anchor reeling this in. This is a puny little one. I'm gonna laugh. Oh, I'm over my other line. It's coming, it's near the edge. What do we have? A spinning dog. That's why it felt big. Reeling in a ball of dogfish, guys. There we go. Dog number 3 eating the Plaice's tea. Anyway, I'll get this guy unhooked, chuck him in a bucket for a bit, and chuck him back. The day of the dogs. Got another dogfish bite on the left-hand rod. It always seems to be the left-hand rod. Go on, there it goes. Go on, see if it takes it down. It's pulled a few times, there it goes. Let's see if he's on it. Yeah, we got him. The sea has got a lot of dogs in it. And they do love coming in as little balls. It's definitely on here. I think he's curled up because it's gone really heavy. Oh, it's gone light. It's gone light. Has he come off? Has he come off? Or has he uncurled himself? Oh, it's still on it. It's near the edge. My leading knot's not in the right place, but I'll sort that out in a minute. Here he comes. Another dog. 2-hook loop bridge bottom hook. Right, get the T-bar on him, and then I'll bring him over so you can have a look. Right, beautifully hooked. That's going to come out nice and easy. There we are. They're all much of a muchness, these dogs. Look at that. There he is, ready to go back. Look at his eyes. Beautiful, aren't they? That's what I reckon. But yeah, there he is. Bit of a sore mouth, but I'll get this chap back. Here, I'll take you down with me. Tide's starting to drop a bit now. So a little dogfish, he's going back. The tide started pulling, that's why we've got these bites come on again. So there we go, let's set this guy free. And there we have it, off he goes. Swimming about. Come and eat the bait again in a minute, probably. Right, let's get you put back down where you live. Right, where was my camera? Just about there, I reckon. I'll see you in a bit, guys. Well, guys, I just brought you back. I had a little knock on the right-hand rod this time, and it didn't look like a dogfish bite. I was just in the middle of ordering a couple of new sets of bearings for my blue 7HT mags. People keep saying how rough they sound. They do sound rough. So I thought maybe I'd try some new ones. There's just a little tap there. Could have been Plaice, you know. If it is a Plaice, we want to sit on our hands and wait. That has got one hook clip down earth on it with a fresh lug. I think it had fresh lug. I've only got a few fresh lug left now. I've actually got another 4 wraps in my box, but I'm saving those for next week. Going to try and keep them decent in my fridge. So a couple of days time I'll change the paper on them. So trick is keep them dry, keep the air off them. So I'll either wrap them in cling film or put them in a Ziploc bag, squeeze all the air out. Keep them dry, keep the air off, stops them going bad. They should keep for 5 or 6 days like that in your fridge. That's what I'm hoping. Right, I'm going to sit on my hands. I'll bring you back when I reel that in. Dog on, I reckon. Line's gone slack. Let's reel down into it. On the other side of the other rod. Let's move around it. Ooh. Did I get it? Did I miss it? Oh, I think I missed it. Damn. Another classic dog bite that one was though. I only just cast this one out. If the bait's alright, it's going to go back out. But I fear that dogfish might have destroyed the bait. Top hook's been munched, bottom hook looks alright. So I'll just change my rigs over. I'll send this one back out again, even if I've only got bait on one hook. Get another cast in, you know. Just one more cast. Oh, we've all done it, haven't we? We've all said that. Just another cast, just one more cast. 5 casts later, start to pack up. Right, let's get this out. Have we got anything? Feels like there's something just pulling a little bit. I wonder if it's going to have spots. Definitely got a bit of weight on here. And it doesn't feel like a dogfish. I've got the loop rig baited up, ready to go. I say baited up, ready to go. As you've already seen, I've only got bait properly on the bottom hook because the dogfish had the one off the top hook. Right, have we got a fish on here? Tide's dropped down enough now, so if we have, I'll walk down and get it. There's a fish. Alright, I'll go down and get this guy. Well, it's our third species of the day. Seriously, they should have gone by now. Look at that. Miniature whiting. I'll stick him in the bucket, let him recover, send him back. Well guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you've liked this one. It's been full of the dogs. Who let the dogs out? Who? Oh, doggies. But we had 3 species. We caught the target species, which was that beautiful Plaice. Even though it was a little one, it was what we came down for. It's been a glorious day. I've thoroughly enjoyed being out on the beach, and it's time for me to pack up and get home, hopefully before the worst of the rush hour. I'll see you next time. And you know what? I've got an itch to go down to Chesil Beach soon. So maybe there'll be something coming up on my channel from down west. See you next time. Thanks for watching.